Imagine the day they see you again. And you are just, well, better.
I got you, girl. Removing your liner. You got the perfect face for the Leah Halton style.
At the end of every week, like every Sunday, I would psychotically try to glow myself up.
I've been cosmetic procedures since I was very young because I was always taught that Botox and filler were a precautionary measure to prevent aging. And I wish I had someone to tell me the things that I know now.
In today's digital age, social media hasn't just reshaped how we connect, it's completely rewritten the rules of beauty. The filters we swipe through, the edited selfies we scroll past, they're not just trends. They're building a new, often unreachable standard for how we're supposed to look.
None of it was real. It was all an illusion.
What used to be an occasional touch-up in Photoshop has turned into full-on filter culture where natural beauty feels more like a myth than a goal. And this phenomenon has real-world consequences. Plastic surgeons are now seeing clients walk in with screenshots of filtered selfies, asking, "Can you make me look like this?" And it's no longer about enhancing what you already have. It's about becoming that filter. And few people embody that extreme edge of this movement more than Anastasiia Pokreshchchuk.
I look the way I do because I like this. Some people think that, oh, it's just for hype. I'm doing just for me. I want to wake up, go to the mirror and say, oh, Nastya, you are so beautiful today. I love what I see.
At 36, Anastasiia isn't just another influencer. She has become the poster child for extreme cosmetic enhancement. Based in Kiev, Ukraine, she's known worldwide for her dramatically altered appearance, particularly her ultra-voluminous cheeks, which she proudly maintains with regular facial fillers. But her journey goes far beyond cheeks. 1,500cc breast implants, a Brazilian butt lift, famously one of the most dangerous cosmetic surgeries in the world, and multiple other enhancements she admits she's lost the count of.
I never count how many procedures I have in my face. I never count because it's a lot. You can see that this is lots of, yes? It's lips, it's cheeks, it's my Botox here. Some time ago I have fillers here. And I make I made myself this jaw angles and my chin. I never count how much I spent on my face. I never count, but I know that it's a lot. It's maybe around $2,000 in my cheeks, and maybe something similar in lips. But I never count. I don't care about this.
And her reason? It's simple.
My aim is like when I wake up, I go into the mirror, yes. And I want to see the picture I like.
And she's not doing this for anyone else. In her own words, she's taken the sugar daddy road and supports herself fully. And surprisingly, or maybe not, she receives a lot of attention. While online comments can be brutal, she claims that in real life, it's the opposite. Hugs, selfies, and admiration.
Nobody judge me from my friends. How my friends can judge me? I will say, okay, off, if they will.
Her BBL, despite one of the most high-risk procedures in the beauty world, didn't faze her in the slightest. Her logic? Beauty is pain. You can die crossing the street. This kind of attitude isn't rare anymore. More and more we see people justifying major surgical risks in the name of beauty, and social media makes it look glamorous, but rarely shows the healing, the complications, and the psychological toll. And Anastasiia, though, owns it all. She says she hasn't bothered by public stares or judgment. Even her friends, who sometimes feel awkward with the constant attention she gets, can't convince her to tone it down. In her own words, "I don't give a what people think of me. My friends never judge me. My mom, she used to say I was beautiful before. Now she calls me exotic." And her philosophy is quite simple. Let people do what they want. I'm doing what makes me happy. And that's kind of the paradox. On the one hand, her confidence is kind of admirable. She owns her look unapologetically. But on the other hand, she represents a growing obsession that's deeply influenced by social media's rap beauty lens. And the trick is that Anastasia's story isn't an outlier anymore. She's just a, more visible example of what many people are feeling, especially in the age of constant comparison. And if internet keeps rewarding these extreme looks with likes and followers, it's no wonder that real-life transformations and fillers or escalating. But maybe the question we need to ask isn't why she does it. It's why we build a world where she feels she has to. From TikTok's bold glamour to Instagram's airbrushed filters, beauty apps let us do more than just play with aesthetics. They let us escape into a better looking version of ourselves. And tools like Facetune don't just remove blemishes, they let you completely redesign your face, and this is mind-blowing.
So I wanted to make this to show you guys why you shouldn't be comparing yourself to influencers online. Social media is fake. It's very easy to fake. So here I am just very subtly altering my appearance. I made my nose a little smaller, my lips are bigger, and I'm gonna make my boobs a little bit bigger too. And by the end, I'm a completely different person, and a perfectly good photo of me now looks like shit in comparison.
And this is where everything gets really tricky. Because when everyone is posting perfected images, the definition of normal beauty quietly shifts. And suddenly, pores, wrinkles, or asymmetries start feeling like flaws instead of facts.
I thought that Facetune was bad until my friend sent me a photo of myself that she edited for me. Ready? Here's the original that I took of myself, and then I sent it to her, and I was like, give me your best work. Are you guys ready for this? This is what she gave me, and I sent it to people, and everyone asked if I was okay. And not to be whatever, but the original's hotter.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't usually like to use any beauty filters, but curiosity got the best of me. So I ran a little experiment. I opened TikTok, I tried a few of the trending filters, and just watched my face morph. My nose got smaller, my lips fuller, my skin impossibly smooth, and in just a few seconds, I started questioning the real me. Like, is this really me? And that's when something hit me. This is the pressure people are talking about. The quiet, this creeping feeling that you need to look better, that you could always be more. And no wonder people start chasing the perfection offline too, like with fillers, with botox, with surgeries, and all kinds of stuff. Because we get used to seeing these curated, flawless versions of ourselves, and suddenly the natural, unedited version feels like it's not good enough, you know? The same with makeup. I rarely wear makeup at all. Like, I barely use any cream or anything. What I actually use is just a bottle of shampoo and some soap to wash my hands every day. That's all the cleaning I do. But the social media often makes us feel so pressured to put on the makeup to take care of ourselves, because sometimes I feel like people will start judging me for not taking care of myself because I don't wear makeup. And soon we'll get to the point where a person without a Botox or a BBL done will be judged on how they look and being criticized for not taking care of themselves. Yeah, I know it's a utopian future, but what if that happens, really? I just feel like with time we'll get there. Though I don't want to get there anyway. No one wants that, right? And this obsession with being perfect all the time or just being pressured to is not just about vanity, it's about validation. And that's a very dangerous loop to fall into. So here's the real question we need to sit with. If these filters were real, would we actually want to look like that? Or have we just forgotten what real beauty looks like? And let's be real, influencers run the beauty game right now. With glowing skin, contoured cheekbones, perfect brows, and $1 million smiles, they set the tone for what's in.
I'm obsessed with this Kylie Cosmetics lip butter, and I swear it's not because she's my sister. Like, this is really nice, so good for you, girl. I still use this. This is from me and Kylie's collection. I just really like the deepness of the color. I should talk to Kylie about bringing it back because I really love it.
And I'm now obsessed with the Booster Pro. It's like an all-in-one facial device. It helps just absorb the skincare, iron out fine lines and wrinkles.
Oh my god. This doesn't even look real. This is the Medicube Collagen Night Wrapping Mask, and it went viral because it's literally porcelain skin in a bottle.
You don't have glowing skin? I can fix that. Snail mucin. If you don't have snail mucin, aloe vera gel, okay? That's gonna be your first base. Let's go with aloe vera gel.
But here's the twist. Most of those polished posts are highly curated. Behind every natural look is a ring light, a full glam team, and at least a few retouches. Yet we compare ourselves to these edited ideals and wonder, why don't we look like that? The result? More and more people, especially younger generation, are turning to cosmetic procedures to chase that impossible aesthetic.
My body works for me, my 2 legs, they can walk me to work. And I'm worried about the pimple on my face. You know, my brain works every day.
Social media is a comparison machine, and it's actually exhausting. Studies show that constant exposure to these picture-perfect posts can seriously mess with our self-esteem. The daily scroll is not just entertainment, it's a subtle self-critique. It whispers, "You're not pretty enough. You should look more like her. Fix this, tweak that." And for some, that whisper turns into quite a scream, one that leads many to the plastic surgeon's office. So let's talk about filter dysmorphia, a new phenomenon where people want to look like their filtered selves in real life. Plastic surgeons now get clients who bring in edited photos of themselves saying, "Make me look like this." And often, what they're asking for is physically impossible. It's not just about wanting to enhance your features anymore, it's about chasing a face that only exists in pixels. So we're seeing the rise of the Instagram face too. Plump lips, snatched nose, high cheekbones, and flawless skin. A face that doesn't actually belong to one culture or one age group or one identity. It's this digital Frankenstein built from popular traits and is becoming the new normal.
Don't know what the Instagram face is, this is literally what it means. It's basically a face shape, which is crazy to think that faces can go in and out of style. That really grew in popularity, I would say starting around 2017, 2018. It really involves, for the most part, for 99.9% of people, a lot of filler, sometimes cosmetic surgery to achieve. And it is a racially ambiguous face, which means it's like a small sort of pointy nose, but then kind of bigger lips, especially up and down, and upturned eyes. Like there are definitely many different racial aspects that have been put into this now perfect face. It's called the Instagram face also because like you can easily Facetune and Photoshop and face app your face to look like it. And because we now know that the Instagram algorithm literally favored people with that face and pushed out their pictures because they deemed them more beautiful, which is a completely other topic, but like we actually probably should talk about that because it's insane.
And today, plastic surgeon consultations don't start with medical concerns. They start with screenshots. People literally showing photos of their perfect selves with filters on, and it helps communication, sure, but it also builds this unrealistic expectation, you know, and sometimes that leads to a dangerous cycle of surgery after surgery, trying to chase something that doesn't actually exist. Another example of a series of cosmetic procedures was Lysan Wildstein, the so-called Catwoman of New York. Someone looking at the picture would wonder, why does someone end up looking like that? This knee-jerk reaction might be judgment or disbelief, but what's really going on is something far more complex and far more common than we think. It's the psychological phenomenon called perception drift, and it explains how the desire to fix one small thing about our appearance can spiral into full-blown obsession where we lose touch with how we actually look.
I'm about to start my day, and before I did, I wanted to talk about a concept called perception drift. And it's been weighing on my mind since I've had a run of patients who are concerned about having an unnatural appearance. Most patients who come to see me, the number one priority is to keep their own unique features and avoid the homogenization of their faces. Perception drift is when, as you start doing some cosmetic procedures, you start to lose sight of who you originally were. And as you habituate to your new appearance with further cosmetic procedures, you may start to notice certain other features that get pointed out.
And when we enter the era of cosmetic procedures, the so-called quick fixes that promise us to erase, to smooth, to plump, or to perfect everything about ourselves, you know, a little Botox here, a touch of filler there, and suddenly the mirror feels more forgiving. But it also gets quite slippery. One tweak turns into 2, and then 3, and 4, and then everything starts going on. And before you know it, you're not enhancing anymore. You're actually chasing a moving target. Step after step after step, and it never ends. And the scary part, every time you change your face, your mind rewires the baseline. You want more. What once looked fine now feels like flawed. You know, you fix one thing, then the next thing stands out, and then there's some other problem comes out. And because we're human, we're quite brutal to ourselves. We judge our own features through a lens of insecurity and emotion, while we look at others with way more compassion. We don't even realize we're weaponizing our own reflection. And even worse, we've been trained by filters, likes, and retouches to crave instant gratification. Influencers aren't just flexing skincare routines anymore, they're shaping your face goals. They document procedures, show dramatic before and after, and make it look like just another part of self-care. But here's the kicker. Many of them have teams, money, and access to post-op recovery tools that average person doesn't. So when regular people chase that same aesthetic, they're not just chasing beauty, they're actually chasing an illusion. Because behind every enhanced selfie lies a deeper story of insecurity, of comparison, of self-worth being tied to algorithmically proved image. You know how many times I felt so insecure about myself and my appearance while using a 100-year-old styling guide for over 5 years? You know what I mean? I didn't have access to so many makeup products or cosmetic procedures, needless to say. And it's so weird when people begin to want to look like their filtered selves rather than their real ones. And if you guessed already, the price of these filtered looks is quite heavy. What all this leads to is a massive disconnect. We don't trust our own eyes. We don't remember how we looked like before. And the worst of all, we stop liking what we see, not because we're flawed, but because the goalposts keep moving. Every time you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror and you hate yourself despite being already quite beautiful. The botox did their job, the fillers did their job, but you're still not satisfied with the way you look. And social media is teaching us to hate our normal. But here's the thing. Your real face, your real features, and your unfiltered expression, they're already enough. The trick is remembering that, especially in the world that profits when you forget. So your face isn't broken, this system is. Thank you so much for watching. Definitely buy this guide, like it's really good. I definitely recommend. I'm just joking. Thank you so much for catching up with me. It was a nice time with you and see you in the next one. Bye.